So what is going on? Happy Friday for you, happy Thursday to me when I'm filming this. This is the bolt that kept me out here for an extra hour and a half last night. So I actually just looked at the tool that I was using. Might have been the wrong tool, guys. Might have been some self-inflicted pain. So, they're T30s. I was using the T27, and I effed myself. That's my bad. My bad. So we're going to go ahead and pull the rest of the bolts out, get this cooler off, and then we can bolt up the IABED oil cooler plate and be done. That might be it today. It is super cloudy. As you guys can see, the ground is soaked. It was raining. We had to wait a little bit before we worked on the car. I'm sitting on a dry mat currently. And yeah, so we'll see how much we can get done today. Alright, so let's pull this guy out. Bam. So it was not a T27, it was a T30. So that is my bad. I rounded the head off and I paid for it with an hour and a half of being miserable. So yeah. Anyway, there are the two T30 screws that were still in there. And then these other two, which I had already got these things loose. Just M8 hex head bolts make my life easy. Oops, so we dropped the whole thing. So there is that. Well, it's kind of different than what I thought it would look like at the mounting surface. It's like really thin. That's way different than I thought it really looked like. Crazy. So anyway, guys, we are going to go ahead. Sorry, it's raining. We're going to go ahead and grab the plate for the IABED cooler. And we'll go ahead and get that thing bolted on, I guess. I don't know if I have much else to do. So let's just get that thing thrown on, and then we can go ahead and actually put the bracket for the AC condenser on as well, I believe. And yeah, we're starting to assemble, so we're getting there. Alright guys, so I didn't have any bolts to replace all of the bolts that were in the car, so I went ahead and kind of made my own. So if you remember the new hardware that I picked up, I had a bunch of M6 bolts that I had bought, and I decided to actually cut them down and make it so I can run them with this cooler piece here. So cut them down from, I don't even know how long they were, to that long, and they all work. Made sure the threads were good, put nuts on and off just to make sure it's straight and it's not going to mess up the block. But we've got 4 bolts, so 1, 2, 3, 4 holes for the bolts. We've got fresh gasket, and then this thing also did come with some hardware to connect the bottom piece to the car. And yeah, that's what we're going to go ahead and run with this system. So let's go ahead and throw it on the car right now. Alright guys, so I went ahead and took a razor blade just to the sealing surfaces and kind of just back drug it just to make sure that we've got any foreign debris or contaminants off, so we'll get a good seal. So those surfaces are all prepped. We've got our gasket pushed into its locating tabs on the actual plate itself, and we're going to go ahead and mount it up and bolt it down. So let's go ahead and get that thing in there. Alright guys, so we've got the plate sitting in position. I tried my best to kind of keep every foreign object I could out of there, so hopefully nothing fell in and is going to cause a leak. However, it wouldn't be the end of the world trying to remove this. As you can see how much space we gained. Originally we have the oil cooler that sits way the freak out here, and it is a nightmare to get to. With this, we're going to have these coolant tubes just tied together. We can in the future put a cooler for these as well, and then we'll just have the AN fittings that have 90s that come off. So it will get a little bit more cramped once the AN lines are there, but it's still a lot less bulky and easier to remove. As you can see all 4 bolts. So 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one back. Of course, it's not going to focus, but the 4th one is back there. And yeah, so everything is accessible, so that is nice. I'm going to go ahead and actually just tighten everything down, put the bottom plate back, or put the bottom plate on, and I think we'll be done. So it is actually hitting the oil pan, so it looks like I might have to just ever so slightly notch the end of it or drill these 2 holes out just a little bit bigger. I'm kind of leaning towards drill the holes out just a little bit bigger because I don't want to have to notch such a nice looking piece. So yeah, give me 1 second. I'm going to make the holes a little bit bigger. Alright, so I went ahead and made the holes a little bit bigger. Hopefully now it clears. That bought me a little bit of wiggle room, so let's hope. Alright, so went ahead and made the notches just a little, or the notch a little bit bigger. So hopefully now we've got the clearance we need and we can get this thing in. This is the thing about cars that for some reason no one really talks about. Every cool car that you see at the meets and all of that stuff, every race car you see that is going way fast and breaking records and whatnot, I guarantee you that car is, in some form, they have done some custom work to get it to ride like that, to drive like that, to look like that. And for some reason, no one wants to believe that things are not all, just because it doesn't bolt on properly or whatever, doesn't mean that you can't make it work for your car. And just because it's not designed to work for your car doesn't mean it can't work with your car, is something that some of these people really need to realize. This thing is a part that is made for the car, however, it's a little bit off, so we're going ahead and trying to make it work, trying to find a way to make it work, and we'll get it on there. I am determined to make this thing fit on the car, so let's make it fit on the car. I guess that's it working. So just like that, just took a little motivational speech. Alright guys, so we finally got everything bolted up on the car. So this is the IABED oil cooler relocation kit, and it took a little bit of work, but we've got it bolted up to the engine, got it bolted up to the car, and we are ready to relocate the oil cooler from underneath here. We'll go with an external air to oil cooler. So yeah, we're just going to need to get those 2 coolant lines and loop them together, or we can even put an external cooler for those, which is also cool. But yeah, so we've got this part in. That was our goal for the day. So we've met our goal and we're looking good. I know I said I was going to try and get the bracket put on the engine. We didn't get to that point because there was a little bit of fiddling to do with that oil cooler relocation kit. But yeah, whatever. So anyway, we're making progress each day, and super motivating, super enjoyable, and the car is going to be back better than ever. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Peace.